The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise the evil eyes that burn over my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Broken Patriot? What's up, Gerald B? Today has been a dirt. Oh wow, I cleaned my hands. Apparently, I did not clean my arms. I need to go do that. I didn't even see that. Crap. So I've been cleaning out the smoker that we bought yesterday. If you weren't here for yesterday, we bought a smoker for $45. It's not the greatest smoker. I mean, it was used. It was on Craigslist, but I've been watching a lot of videos, and they say, a cheap ass smoker is better than no smoker, right? So I'm a little upset, not upset, but I'm a little disappointed, I should say. When we bought it, it had a little bit of rust on the door where the fire goes. I was like, that's no big deal. I got some high temp engine paint that I can put on that, no problem, right? So we're cleaning it out. The guy never cleaned it, not once, and he had it for about a year. And we're cleaning it all out because I was like, I don't want to have all this grease and whatever in there, right? So I'm cleaning it out, and we find a lot more rust. Luckily, nothing horrible, but it's definitely going to be an introduction into smoking and not an actual thing that I keep around for a very long time. So today we've been cleaning and painting and sanding and trying to get it at least somewhat where it'll probably last, a year, another year or so. Because the cheapest recommended, now after I bought it, I decided to watch a whole bunch of videos on, budget smokers. And one of the main guys that does smoking videos on YouTube is like, he did a video on the smoker that I have and called it a piece of crap. But at the same time, he smoked brisket in it and it turned out pretty good. So I have hope. I have some hope. But he also had a video on best budget smokers. And the one that he recommends, the lowest price is like $1,000. So I don't have $1,000 right now. I mean, eventually, maybe that'd be nice, but boy, I'm gonna have to save up for that. Anyway, that's what I've been doing today. I've been cleaning that damn thing out. Well, me and Riddle been helping out quite a bit, actually. So thank you very much for that, Riddle. And after we're done here, we're probably gonna go back out and clean it some more. I'm starting to run out of that high temp engine paint, so hopefully we get this thing done pretty soon. All right, so there was a Ron Paul versus Fauci again. And I love this shit. When Fauci goes up against Ron Paul, it's just happy times. My wife won a smoker at a store 2 years ago. We still haven't used it. Oh my goodness. So I have learned a lot. I still have a lot to learn, so don't think I know everything. But apparently, 1/4-inch steel is a highly valuable thing when it comes to a smoker. You need at least 1/4-inch steel, because it holds in the heat and doesn't rust as bad. And the one that we got, which is the next grill, is like the cheapest one that he has ever done on that video. And it's, I think, a little over $100 brand new. Well, I got it for $45, and with a little bit of work and a little bit, whatever, well, we'll cook a couple briskets and we'll have a good time with it, and then we'll save up for a nicer one. Is it an offset smoker or is it a pellet smoker? So the one that we got is an offset smoker. And the whole reason I wanted to do that is because, you can go up and get bigger stuff. And the whole idea is I want to learn how to do this so that if we ever did decide to open a catering business or anything like that, that I have at least the knowledge or the introduction to proper smoking, because you can't do wood pellet smokers for mass quantities. It's a smaller thing, and supposedly, not according to me, according to other people, it's not as much smoke flavor as an offset, so I have no idea. The Coleman gas grill works for what we do. I've never been a fan of gas grills. I mean, they taste okay, but the whole idea, in my opinion, is you're cooking outside. You want to cook like a caveman, not cook like you could have cooked inside, but you're just doing it outside kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that's always been one of those things for me. Anyway, let's get to the Fauci versus Paul. I have not seen it, but I did see that it's all over my feed on YouTube. So Fox News has been doing it. Other people have been doing it. So it must have been pretty good and pretty heated. All right. Dr. Fauci deferred to Beltway Democrats and the legacy media as the nation's top infectious disease bureaucrat angrily confronted Kentucky GOP Senator Rand Paul on Tuesday in testimony on Capitol Hill, rejecting Paul's insinuation that the U.S. helped fund research at the Chinese lab that could have sparked the sniffles in the first place. Paul suggested that Fauci had lied before Congress when in May he denied that the National Institute of Health funded so-called gain-of-function research, the practice of enhancing a sniffle in a lab to study its potential impact on the real world at the Wuhan Virology Lab. U.S. intelligence agencies are currently exploring theories that either an accidental leak or development of a biological weapon from that lab could have led to a global pandemic. I have not lied before Congress. I have never lied my ass. Certainly not before Congress. Case closed, Fauci told Paul before the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. He claimed without evidence that a study the senator mentioned referenced a different sort of sniffle entirely from the one responsible for the sniffle outbreak. Senator Paul, you do not know what you're talking about, quite frankly, Fauci said, and I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. He added, if anyone is lying here, Senator, it's you. Wow. Okay, so Fauci might have gotten some licks in. It was the latest in a series of clashes between Paul and Fauci over the origins of the sniffles that caused the pandemic in the first place. Let's watch this. Apparently, there's some dead air.
Viruses that in nature only infect animals were manipulated in the Wuhan lab to gain the function of infecting humans. This research fits the definition of the research that the NIH said was subject to the pause in 2014 to 2017, a pause in funding on gain of function. But the NIH failed to recognize this, defines it away, and it never came under any scrutiny. Dr. Richard E. Bright, a molecular biologist from Rutgers, described this research in Wuhan as the Wuhan lab used NIH funding to construct novel chimeric SARS-related coronaviruses able to infect human cells and laboratory animals. This is high-risk research that creates new potential pandemic pathogens that exist only in the lab.
Anybody ever see Outbreak?
Not in nature.
That's a good movie.
This research matches, these are Dr. E. Bright's words, this research matches, indeed epitomizes, the definition of gain-of-function research, done entirely in Wuhan, for which there was supposed to be a federal pause. Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans,
right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. Okay, you get one person.
Let's read from the NIH definition of gain of function. This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
And let's let Dr. Fauci.
I have to, well, now you're getting into something. If the point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2. That's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't
wait
know
a minute.
If it did come from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I totally
This committee will allow the witness to respond.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator, because if you look at the viruses that were used in the experiments, that were given in the annual reports, that were published in the literature, it is molecularly impossible.
No one's saying those viruses caused it.
It
no
is
one is alleging that
molecularly.
those viruses caused the pandemic. What we're alleging is that gain-of-function research was going on in that lab, and NIH funded it.
That is
you can't
not.
get away from it. It meets your definition, and you are obfuscating the truth.
I'm not obfuscating the truth.
Senator
You are the
Paul's
one.
time is expired, but I will allow the witness to.
Let me just finish. I want everyone to understand that if you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible
No one's
to
saying
result
they are. No
in
one's saying those viruses
SARS-CoV-2.
caused the pandemic.
Senator Paul,
We're saying they are gain-of-function viruses because they were
They're not.
animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And
won't
you
admit the truth.
and you
Senator
implying
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come before this committee to respond.
and you are implying that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent
could
that.
have
And
been.
if anybody
could
is
have been.
lying here, Senator, it is you.
Senator Smith.
Thank you,
More
Dr.
time.
Fauci.
Another minute.
And thanks to all of our panelists for being here today. And thank you, Chair Murray and Ranking Member Burr. I just want to say, Dr. Fauci, is there anything more that you would like to say to counteract these
That's when they said
attacks
use
on your integrity that
hardwood
we've all just
chunks in a
witnessed?
firebox. Ooh, so it does have a
Well,
firebox.
Senator, thank you. I don't think
So offset smoker has two spots, right? There's the main area, and then right off on the side or in the front, usually it's on the side. On the side, there's a little compartment, and that's where you put in the wood. So yeah, it sounds like you got an offset smoker. That's cool. You have like 5 bags of different woods for smoking. Nice. Word games by those folks. Good evening. What's up, Bites? How you doing? Let's see. Just haven't had any time to use it. That sucks. Games of function means bioweapon. Well, I mean, we've known about this shit for a long time. Shit. The movie Outbreak that I referenced earlier. That's the same thing, right? It was a lab and there was a leak in it, I believe. Right? They were doing gain of function on monkeys or some shit like that in that movie. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But we all knew that all the governments are doing this shit. Even our own, I can almost guarantee you. And it's just a matter of time until one of them escapes. So I'm kind of curious. How far is Rand Paul going to take that? Like, is he actually going to go after Fauci himself for the death of 4 million people around the world? Repeating gain of function 1,000 times has numbered the public. What's up, Guns? How you doing? You're too busy planning my counterattacks to pay attention to these clowns anymore. I don't know. That was a good exchange. I liked it. I mean, one of the first things that I did on YouTube, if you didn't know, was I did a reality show. Well, I did not do a reality show. I did a YouTube show, kind of like this here, but more edited and more scripted, about the TV show Big Brother on CBS. That's how I got my start on YouTube-ish. I did a few videos before that, but that's what really took my channel and took it off originally. In fact, the first 8,000 subscribers is probably from that. And I only did that for 2 years. Can you imagine if I had done that from 2007 until today? I'd probably be doing much better. But the whole reason was because we were watching Big Brother and we enjoyed that drama, I guess. This is a different kind of drama. It's a little bit more important kind of drama. I stopped doing that for a couple of reasons. I don't even watch that show anymore because of the drama, because I wanted to get away from it. But secretly, there's a little bit of me that still likes a little bit of drama, and that was great. I love that. I hope you have plans for A through F and an F-16. Yeah. Afghans didn't need an F-16. That's right. We've been there how long? 20-something years? How's he is deflecting? If I eat Taco Bell, I get gain of... You get bioweapons? Bowel movement. I will keep the chat clean, but I thought someone would change the news cycle with Fauci by now. Change the news cycle? I don't know. What's the news cycle on Fauci that we should change it to, Guns? As I said, I've been busy all day long, so this is the first I've heard about it, and it's like the top story that's coming up, so... I mean, it is what it is. It's all a bunch of BS in a show. However, I do appreciate Rand Paul for at least putting some legitimate questions out there. I don't know if it'll do anything. Probably won't. When Fauci granted Secret Service protection, that should have been a... Really? He got Secret Service protection? Probably because there's a whole bunch of people that want to take him out. You know, all those doctors that don't agree with him, that they won't allow to talk? Neck and wallet on the line. All right, so apparently Jeff Bezos blasted off into space in this penis-shaped rocket. In fact, I saw an ad on YouTube earlier today. I think it was today. Maybe it was last night. I don't remember. While I was watching, my barbecuing and smoking videos. And it came up like, you can win a trip. We just flew into outer space. I was like, oh, cool. He did it. Jeff Bezos blasted into space on Tuesday on his rocket's company first flight, with people on board, becoming the second billionaire in just over a week to ride his own spacecraft. Who was the first? Was it Musk? No. But the accomplishment was overshadowed by mockery and memes on social media due to the resemblance of the Amazon's founder's spaceship. Exactly. It looks like a giant dildo. It looks like a giant dildo. Was hoping the rocket experience, yada yada, lasted all 10 minutes. A quick up and down. 10 minutes? 10 minutes probably in space, right? It's got to take longer than that to get up there. Well, I wouldn't say it takes 10 minutes. But I mean, the whole thing up there and down shouldn't be 10 minutes. I would hope it's 10 minutes up in there, but still 10 minutes? How much money you got to pay for that 10 minutes? The best way to penetrate the outer egg of the Earth is with a giant penis-shaped rocket. Blue Origin. The Amazon founder was accompanied by a hand-picked group. His brother, an 18-year-old from the Netherlands, and an 82-year-old aviation pioneer from Texas, the youngest and oldest to ever fly in space. Best day ever, Bezos said when the capsule touched down on the desert floor in a remote West Texas after a 10-minute flight. The whole thing was 10 minutes? Oh, man. That is bullshit. A lot of people with little to lose. Well, yeah, I mean, they can get away. You got enough money. What are you worried about? You got enough money and power. Look at the Clintons. They're never going to go to jail. They're never going to have anything happen to them because they're too rich and powerful for that to happen. The only way anything like that is ever going to happen is if the people actually do rise up and take back their shit. And I think that's one of the reasons why they try to keep us divided. As long as we're divided and fighting each other, we're not fighting them. And that's why I try to teach, togetherness. Like, go out and when you see a black individual at a gun show, treat them like anybody else. Say, hey, what's up? Oh, man, that's pretty cool. Check out what I got. Right? They weren't up there very long. Makes me question whether they actually went into space or if they just really high up and told them they went to space. Just watch emergency meeting of our county commissioner here. Another lockdown on the way. Mass mandates and door knocks coming. Ooh. You're in Nevada, I believe, last time I checked. Yeah, I heard, especially in the Vegas area, it's getting really bad. Yeah. Named after America's first astronaut, Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket soared on the 52nd anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, a date chosen by Bezos for its historical significance. He held fast to it even as Virgin Galactic's Richard Branson pushed up his own flight from New Mexico in the race for space tourist dollars and beat him to space by 9 days. We got a new space race. That's kind of cool. I wasn't around for the first space race, so maybe we'll actually land on the moon this time. Unlike Branson's piloted rocket plane, Bezos' capsule was completely automated and required no official staff on board for the up and down flight. That's interesting. Blue Origin reached an altitude of about 66 miles, more than 10 miles higher than Branson's July 11th ride. The 60-foot booster accelerated to Mach 3, or 3 times the speed of sound, to get the capsule high enough before separating and landing upright. Well, at least it's erect. During several minutes of weightlessness, video from inside the capsule showed the four unbuckling from their seats and floating around, sharing Skittles and throwing balls. What happened to the Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie variants? I don't know. Isn't it, what's the new variant now? Delta. There you go. I don't know about the other ones. They just got to keep rolling out new variants so that you keep being scared, I think what it is. I heard monthly booster shot. Yeah. Monthly? Holy shit. I was thinking it was going to be more like the flu shot where you got to get a new one every year. Cheering, whooping, and exclamations of wow could be heard. The capsule landed under parachutes with Bezos and his guests briefly experiencing nearly 6 times the force of gravity, or 6 Gs, on the way back. Led by Bezos, they climbed out of the capsule after touchdown with wide grins, embracing parents, partners, and children, and then popped open bottles of sparkling wine, spraying one another. They had a cum shot. Sharing Bezos' dream come true adventure was Wally Funk from the Dallas area, one of the 13 female pilots who went through the same test as NASA all-male astronaut corps in the early 60s, but never made it into space. Well, I'm glad she got into space for... If it was 10 minutes total, you got to think it was like 3 or 4 minutes at max at weightlessness. I've been waiting for a long time to finally get up there, Funk said at the press conference. I want to go again fast, she added. Yeah, I would imagine, because you were only up there a very short amount of time. Joining them on the ultimate joyride was the company's first paying customer, Oliver Damon, a last-minute fill-in for the mystery winner of a $28 million auction who opted for a later flight. The Dutch teen's father took part of an auction, and he didn't want to be part of the first flight, just in case, and agreed on a lower undisclosed... Wait. The Dutch teen's father took part in the auction and agreed on a lower undisclosed price last week when Blue Origin offered his son the vacated seat. $28 million. $28 million for 10 minutes. And probably like 4 of that into space. Holy crap. What percentage do they have now? I don't know. Last time I heard a percentage on how many people had gotten the shot was 69. I should have just called this the inappropriate evening catch-up. Well, if they do get 40, I'll have to chalk it up to natural selection at that point. People are being stupid. Hey, man, as I said, I'm not saying it ain't real. I think it is real. I think it was leaked or deliberately let loose. I don't know which. I don't give a fuck. At the same time, I haven't gotten it as far as I know, unless I'm asymptomatic, which could be, I guess. I know I'm high risk. If I get it, I have a very high likelihood of dying. I do not know. I was just blowing out a number. Heck, for all I know, 15% might do it for all these criminals. I must have missed it. Okay. Now, yesterday or last night after our chat, I was, just perusing, and I did see a CNN. I actually clicked on it too. See, because you know how it comes up in your recommendeds no matter what, like major news companies, and always CNN. Well, it came up. CNN was talking about Tucker Carlson and how he was lying to the public about shots and sniffles. Right? So I couldn't help myself. I had to watch it. And basically, they're giving him shit for telling people to make up their own mind. And, people that are getting sick that have already gotten their shot and asking questions. And they're like, these people need to be hushed. So I guess this is kind of going into that. When Dr. Alexa Mrs. Malkachik, no idea, talks to patients about the sniffle shot, she tries to feel out where they get their information from. Sometimes I feel like the education I have to provide depends on what news channels they watch, the doctor in Durham, North Carolina said. The mixed messaging can come from the same media outlet and even the same source. On the Fox News channel on Monday, Sean Hannity looked straight into the camera to deliver a clear message. I do not watch Hannity, so I don't really know. I mean, I've seen a clip here or there, but I gave up on him during the Trump era. I used to watch him when Obama was on, or when he was president. That was when I was watching Fox News like non-fucking stop. And then with Trump, I watched him for a while, but when Trump comes out and take the guns first and due process second, and I didn't see Hannity say one damn thing about it. Not one thing about it. The president just came up and just said live on national television, I'm a fan of taking the guns first and due process second. Hannity was silent. Never happened. If you only watched Hannity, you didn't watch that, you would have never known the president said that in the first place. I was like, I'm out. It obviously makes sense for many Americans to get the shot. I believe in science. I believe in the science of the shots. Yet Hannity followed up his statement by interviewing a woman protesting her college requirement that students get the shot. Yeah. If you want to get the shot, maybe it works, maybe it don't. It hasn't been tested enough in my opinion. That's why I'm not going to get it. But it's up to you whether you want it or not. A segment appealing to people skeptical of the immunization push. I think they want us to have it too much. I know that. Preparing for the Antichrist arrival. Well, most likely that would be like aliens. I think it's aliens. I think the alien beings are going to come down and they're going to say, we are your supreme leader and we are great. And everybody's going to be like, oh my God, this guy's the best. And that's when you're going to get the whole biblical shit, I think. All I know, humans are filthy. Even good hygiene doesn't get rid of all the microbes. Hey, I like my microbes, okay? I enjoy my dirtiness. I like a little stank on it. All right, that's how you get a good, healthy immune system. The parasites at the base of your eyebrow hairs. I thought that was dandruff. Have you ever went like this on one of your eyebrows and saw the flakes flying? I've seen electron scope photos. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, those two. We're already. I don't mind being filthy. I've lived my life a lot like that. I take a bath or shower. I don't bath. I shower. His primetime colleagues Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham opened their own programs by questioning the shot effort. Skepticism over the sniffle shots is a common theme in media appealing to conservatives. Much, which is funny because Trump is the one that came out with it. Much of that may be attributed to not to the television shows they watch, but to the mixed messages by decision makers, including the Biden administration and the health organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as notorious flip-flopper Anthony Fauci, head of the National Institute for Allergies and Infectious Diseases. Many of the decisions, particularly the decisions to bog down the economy and impose draconian, albeit inconsistently enforced lockdown measures in the lead up to last year's general election, have appeared to be politically motivated more than health focused. Fucking men to that. Case in point was the Biden administration ham-fisted attempt to encourage social media censorship, which is against the First fucking Amendment, of conservative sites by claiming that they spread the spread of dissenting opinion was killing people. But that hasn't stopped leftist mainstream media outlets from pouncing on the opportunity to take down a competitive market over its personalities' refusal to fall in lockstep with an official narrative. While a robust diversity of opinions used to be the norm, media outlets are now harping on the inconsistency of Fox, a traditional leader in the cable news circuit. Two recent exchanges in recent days on the Fox News Channel's popular morning show, Fox and Friends, illustrated the mixed messaging claimed by the Associated Press. During a discussion of Los Angeles County's decision to reinstate mandates to wear masks indoors, even if people have gotten the shot, guest host Lawrence Jones said people are saying, why get the shot if you're not going to return to normal? What's the use of doing it? Why? Well, you won't die, colleague Steve Doocy replied. That's a good reason. Doocy, arguably Fox's most influential figure arguing in favor of the shot, also took on co-host Brian Kilmeade on Monday when he said people should not be judged if they decide to not get the shot. Doocy responded to the vast majority of people who are dying of the sniffles are unshotted. So be it. If that's how you go out, there ain't nothing in this life that's safe. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. You could get all the shots you want. Great. I'm protected from the sniffles and go out and get hit in a car accident. That's their choice, Kilmeade replied. Several personalities on Fox News, including Bill Hemmer, Dan Perino, Brett Baer, Greg Gutfeld, and 3 members of Fox and Friends morning team have gotten the shot and publicized their status. Rupert Murdoch, the new network's founder, has also been jabbed. The primetime hosts, who constantly have the biggest audience, keep their status to themselves, although Hannity has said he was going to get the shot. Okay. CNN, the one I watched anyway, the video that I watched, because I can only watch one, said that he didn't say if he had it or not, and that he should disclose that. Well, apparently he said he was going to go get it. Carlson, when asked directly by 2 journalists whether he had gotten the shot, responded by asking their favorite sex position. His way of saying it's too personal of a question. Even casual consumers of media targeting conservatives over the past few months absorb a deep skepticism about the shot. Wow. All right, I'm going to be done with this one. That's a long story. Oh my goodness. We are filthy. They have a great immune system. I'm going to take some of my fish mocks. What the hell is fish mocks? I'm getting the heebie-jeebies in this chat. Okay. You bought a new PC case. Yeah, I know you did. I saw the pictures of it. Folks should just go full retard at this point and don NBC mask. LOL. I don't know, man. Do whatever you think you need to do. Yeah, talking about filthy. I need to wash my arm. I've been cleaning too much stuff. do your own thing, man. Whatever you feel is appropriate for you. I figure if I die from anything other than pulmonary hypertension, it's a good thing. And I'm not about to do that shit. So I have a pretty healthy immune system as far as I'm aware. As much as you can. Even the New York Times admits the CDC may be broken beyond repair. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read. It looks like a pretty long story. But let's get the basics. As the sniffles seems in many ways to be winding down, unless you hear about the Delta variant, journalists and academics are reflecting on the performance of our official institutions, such as the CDC, in handling this global health disaster. The New York Times Magazine recently published an article titled, "Can the CDC be Fixed?" by Time staff writer and editorial board member Janine Interland. As her analysis shows, the actions of the nation's health protection agency throughout its sniffles response does not bode well for its ability to steward the nation through future catastrophes or even more ordinary public health issues. And I've been saying this pretty much since this whole thing started. I don't think it's nearly as deadly as they say it is. I think there's a lot, and it's just my opinion, I think there's a lot of people who die in car accidents or fall off a ladder who tested positive for it. Shit, even George Floyd tested positive for it. And I think they count that as a sniffle death. And if that's the case, then I don't think it's as bad as as they report. However, if we did get something horrific, people would be like, oh, let me just put a mask on my face. That'll help save me. A labyrinth of ignorance. After investigating the agency's Interlandy reports that the CDC maintains more than 100 separate disease-specific computer systems, a byproduct of the agency's funding silos. And many of those can't interface with another. As a result, she observes, crucial data is often shepherded from healthcare facilities to health departments through a tortured process that can involve handwritten notes, manual spreadsheets, fax machines, and snail mail. Bill Hang, a public health scientist at Harvard University, is quoted as saying the CDC has no rational plan behind it, and its random patchwork collaborations were initiated and transformed and now have an outsized impact on understanding of public health. It's not uncommon for basic information like race, ethnicity, age, or address to be missing from clinical reports, Interland writes. It's also not uncommon for those reports to languish at the state's or local level without ever making their way to their federal officials. Even the most serious diseases, which are supposed to be logged within 24 hours of detection and reported to the CDC in a timely way, are not necessarily sent up the chain in any systematic manner. According to the Times, the agency was unable to keep reliable track of testing or case rates across the country through the pandemic. It also consistently failed to update hospital data such as ventilator supply and bed availability. And when multiple shots were finally deployed, the agency was not able to monitor supplies or accurately keep tabs on waste. Wow. Many negative consequences have resulted from the CDC's disastrous data management practices. One such consequence has been the release of misinformation. According to the New York Times article published March 2020, for example, CDC officials provided conflicting accounts of when significant increases in tests would be available. Even worse, in May of 2020, the agency was revealed by The Atlantic to have been conflating multiple different and incomparable data sets. Alexis C. Mandrill and Robinson Maurer write, we learned that the CDC is making, at best, a deliberate, debilitating mistake, combining test results with diagnosed current sniffle infections with test results that measure whether someone has ever had the sniffles. The upshot, yeah, because if you had it and you got tested for it, it said you were positive for it and that you had it now, but you already beat it. The upshot is that the government's disease-fighting agency is overstating the country's ability to test people who are sick with the sniffles. Wow. I was not speaking for me. Oh, okay. Real world exercise fun? Yeah. That would be fun to watch my recliner while eating popcorn. Okay. Guns Coast to Coast is actually out. What'd y'all say to him to make him leave? Guns Coast to Coast is amazing. Bring him back. He's always got something smart to say. I don't have any other stories either, so I'm going to have to read some more of this. Or maybe we find something else that we want to watch. Sniffles began in Wuhan and funding from federal bureaucrats. We all know that. New York must punish ban Ben and Jerry's. Ooh, there we go. Let's do that one. Y'all eat Ben and Jerry's? I know I haven't, not in a long time. And even if I wanted to support that company, I probably wouldn't want to eat it just because I'm trying not to gain that weight. Ooh, what's this? Sniffle derails super spreading. Ooh, I want that one. Let's read that one instead. Sniffles derails super spreading Texas Dems' ambitious DC lobbying agenda. Well, I hope they all have to go home to get treated for the sniffle. Texas Democrats who fled the public obligations to avoid a difficult vote on election integrity were derailed by a chartered plane ride paid for Beto O'Rourke and Willie Nelson, in which they opted to violate health and aviation mandates for masking. But the super spreading scofflaws vowed to press on with their mission to get Democrats in Washington, D.C. to bolster their cause, even as the sniffles spread throughout their ranks. Everybody, it's a super spreader. 6 of the more than 50 Texas state representatives, okay, it was 5 last time I checked, so, I mean, it's spreading out of control, who decamped to Washington last week have since tested positive for the sniffles, along with 2 Washington staffers associated with the group. During a news conference on Tuesday, the Texas Democrats said they remained optimistic about their cause, even after their Monday night town hall on MSNBC was scaled back because of the positive test results. I do believe we are being very innovative and we are rising to respond to these challenges, Democratic State Representative Ron Reynolds said, asking about the prospects of meeting between President Biden and the Texas delegation now that several members have become infected. White House Press Secretary Psaki said it was unlikely. Yeah, he's gotten the shot. He double masked and he still ain't touching your asses with a 10-foot pole. There has not been a meeting planned, and there hasn't been a change to that, she said. Vice President Kamala Harris met with members of the delegation a few days before the positive cases were announced, but her office reiterated that she has gotten all of her shots and did not have close enough contact with the legislators to require going into isolation. Dawn Howard confirmed on Tuesday that she tested positive for the sniffles. She said in a statement that she has also been fully shotted. There's a question for you. State Representative Donna Howard confirmed on Tuesday that she tested positive for the sniffles, and she has already gotten all of her shots and basically asymptomatic. But that is isolating to a limit to spread. So she got it again. Now she's not sick, apparently. Now she's asymptomatic, but the Delta variant seems to be much more contagious, even for those that have the shot, than initially thought, Howard said. It remained unclear whether Democrats would be subjected to additional quarantine restrictions upon re-entry to Texas, although Republican lawmakers, including Governor Greg Abbott, have warned that they may be arrested. They better be arrested. If he does not arrest them as soon as they land, I'm going to be pissed. For shirking their duties at tremendous taxpayer expense. Yeah. Some called last week for the assistance of Capitol Police, an extradition effort. One of 2 Washington staffers who tested positive works in the office of the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Ooh, Pelosi might get the sniffle. Drew Hamill, a Pelosi spokesperson, confirmed that a fully shotted senior spokesman in the Senate Speaker's press office tested positive for the sniffles after contact with members of the Texas state legislature last week. Hamill said the employee had no contact with Pelosi since exposure, and that much of Pelosi's press staff was working remotely Tuesday, with the exception of those not exposed or who have already recently tested negative. A shotted White House staffer tested positive for the sniffles after interacting with Pelosi's aide, according to a White House official. The infected person has not been in close contact with Biden. Wow. Zulu? So why is it that you get the shot and you still get the sniffles? Is it okay to ask that question? Probably not. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that one. New York must punish Ben and Jerry's for anti-Jew discrimination. Representative Lee Zeldin on Tuesday recommended that the New York State Official of General Services add Ben and Jerry's and its corporate owner, Unilever, to the list of companies that participate in the boycott, disinvestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. Ben & Jerry's announced on Monday that it would discontinue ice cream sales in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, two disputed territories that both Palestinians and Israelis claim as their own. Israel conquered the lands during the Six-Day War in 1967. The decision by Unilever and Ben & Jerry's to target hundreds of thousands of Jewish customers abroad with this discriminatory boycott is a disgrace and a direct embrace of the anti-Israel BDS movement, Zeldin said in a press release. Zeldin, who is planning to oppose Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York's race, called for the General Service Office to include Unilever and Ben & Jerry's in accordance with Executive Order Number 157, which Cuomo signed in 2016. The order states that New York unequivocally rejects the BDS campaign and considers Israel a critical and invaluable ally. The New York promises to divest its money and assets from any company that supports BDS. New York State must follow the 2016 executive order that prohibits state agencies from conducting business with institutions or companies that promote BDS, Zeldin said. Something's beeping, Riddle. Do you have something on a timer? After Ben & Jerry's announced the restrictions on sales in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, several U.S. stores announced that they would either reduce their stock of the company's ice cream or stop carrying it. I would imagine stop carrying it, according to Geller report. Yeah, okay. Oh, I already had that up there. Okay, cool. That's why I was wondering, why are these people getting it so much? World War Z. World War Z. You think that everybody who got the sniffles is gonna turn into some flesh-eating parasite? We could all, hey, I still got some of my zombie rounds from Hordney. Yeah, I got some AK ones. I got some 5.56. I've got 12 gauge, which I opened up one of those of the 12 gauge buckshots. It's not green at all. I was so upset. I was like, I got ripped off. They just did the paint in green on the shell and called it good, which is, rubs off after a little while if you handle it at all. Because a bioweapon was designed to be cumulative and reinfected, so your troops keep getting sicker. I seriously don't think that zombies will be like. That is interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not surprised by it, Guns, but I wasn't aware of it. But it makes sense. So you're saying that a bioweapon, when somebody does that, the whole idea is that it keeps mutating. So yeah, all right. I bet Ben and Mad Jerry still sell to places with slavery or stoning of women caught driving. Maybe. It is funny, right? So you know how during Pride Month we have all these companies that put out their Pride stuff, right? Mercedes-Benz. And I think we did a story on this. I could be wrong. Let's see. Pride Month. I don't know how to spell it. Mercedes-Benz. Why not? Thanks for Google being able to do that. All right. So they had their rainbow, they had the whole thing, right? They prided it up. They did not do that in Saudi Arabia or in any Muslim country. It was just a basic thing. Let's see. Yeah, I probably don't have a thing here. Failed to update logos for Pride Month on their Middle East and Asian pages, where LGBT people face the most oppression. You know why it is? They want to sell their shit. So here you go. Here's in America, Canada, and any country that, it's okay with it. In the countries not, nope. BMW, same thing. Cisco, same thing. Lenovo, same thing. Bethesda, same thing. At least seven major multinational companies changed their social media logos to rainbows as June began for Pride Month. The companies notably failed to update logos on their Middle East and Asian pages where LGBT people face the most oppression. It appears that for some corporations, concern for the LGBT persons is limited by geographic boundaries as evidenced by their social media accounts. Yeah. Gay conservative British activist Darren Grimes documented 5 companies that did not change their Middle East logos for Pride. Car manufacturers Mercedes-Benz, BMW, technological companies like Cisco, Lenovo, and Bethesda. The same phenomenon also occurred on Facebook. Journalist Melissa Chen noted companies change their logo in areas where LGBT people are free to live as they choose, but not places like Russia, where the government censors gay and lesbian content and represses gay activities. Also, the new Skittles this last month, they changed it from all white Skittles for Pride, which is hilarious, and I have a bag over there, to gray, because, we don't want to have... I thought that was hilarious. I kind of want to get a gray bag to go along with my white bag. Food corporation Nestle chose to display a rainbow logo on its U.S. Twitter page, but not the page dedicated to all international consumers. Some companies did not change their logo to rainbows and instead made posts about Pride Month on their main pages, but not their Middle Eastern pages, such as beauty supplier retail Sephora. Israel is the only country in the Middle East with open LGBT culture. Israel invests in LGBT tourism and grants asylum to gays who are unsafe in their home countries. Wow, I did not know that. Despite Israel's accepting culture, Lenovo Israel Facebook page did not change its logo, despite doing so on its American page. BMW did, however, change their logo to include a rainbow flag on their Israeli Facebook page. Earlier this year, Breitbart News reported Turkish President Erdogan said the LGBT, there is no such thing. Wow. Erdogan's views are echoed by many in the Middle East, where gay people can still be fined, jailed, or even put to death. But we have to worry about your rights as a gay individual here in the United States. How about we worry about it over there in the Middle East? Or women's rights. According to the Council on Foreign Relations, or don't even get me started on different genders. Like, if you're confused on what gender you are, you want reassignment surgery, I bet you they put you to death for that. According to the Council on Foreign Relations, around 70 countries criminalize homosexual activity, and 12 countries have the death penalty for those participating in homosexual acts. Wow. PR posturing hypocrisy. Absolutely. It just shows you how much you actually mean to these companies. The only reason they do that here is so that they think that they can be, hey, look, we're totally inclusive. Come buy our shit. Get your rainbow Skittles. Get your, well, the Skittles are always rainbow, but, get your rainbow whatever. One thing we saw over, I think it was Target. We saw a rainbow suit, which Riddle's like, man, that thing's cool. It was kind of cool suit. These huge companies only care about their bottom line. They don't give a shit about any of these so-called causes. Nope, they don't. Anyway, that's all I got. So, I got me I think it's the Nex Grill smoker. It's like a little bit over $100 brand new. I got it used for $45. It's not the greatest smoker. It's probably one of the cheapest ones you can get into. But we're working on that. That's why I'm all dirty. If you got here late, I didn't clean my arms. I did wash my hands, but I didn't clean my arms. So we're going to go do that. Other than that, hopefully going to smoke a brisket sometime this weekend. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, thank you so much for everybody who showed up. If this is your first time on my channel, why not check out the descriptions we have down below? Let me go over what we have. We have all the causes I believe in and support. We have the pH Association. If you're unaware, I suffer from pulmonary hypertension. It's not high blood pressure. It is, but it's not. It's not the same. Pulmonary hypertension is high blood pressure of the right side of your heart, not the left. The left side of your heart, you get a little pill, you watch what you eat a little oatmeal, you're fine. Pulmonary hypertension is caused from pressure in your lungs that makes the right side of your heart work harder. And there is no cure for it. I will die from it most likely. Luckily, they have come up with treatments for it that prolong your life, because it used to be 5 years and you were dead. And I'm 3 years in, but now it's like 20 years. And you can get lung transplants and then maybe get a few extra years that way. But the PH Association is the only association that I'm aware of that are actually actively looking for a cure for that. So obviously it's close to my heart. We also have the ProjectRecover.org, an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns their remains to their families. We have the GOA, which is the only organization that I know of that's actively trying to fight federal gun laws in court. And then we have my favorite, Rally Point Irish. My good friend Irish USMC vet has got a GoFundMe page set up called Rally Point Irish, where he's trying to raise money to start a location in Tennessee where veterans can stay and live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. I believe in that one a lot, and I dedicated 50% of everything this channel makes goes straight to Rally Point Irish, because I want to see that succeed. I want to actually see it take off, and I know he does as well. Now, we are fully demonetized, so the only way we make any kind of money on this channel is if you donate. There are ways to donate down below. Please do not feel obligated. It is only if you want to. 50% of that will go to Rally Point Irish. However, let me encourage you, if you're thinking about donating to me, why not just go and donate 100% of it over to Rally Point Irish? That would be much better in my opinion. However, if you want me to get a box of ammo, that's probably what I'll do with the 50% or something to that effect. Other than that, all the different places to follow me. Go back over here. All the different places to follow me. I have a secondary YouTube channel. I'm on DLive currently, right now live. And I also have a Twitter account. Try to hide my dirty arm. Twitter is where I'm going to announce if I get a strike on YouTube or any big life stuff. Check out my DLive, because we never have any problems with DLive usually. Also have a Discord, which is kind of like a private Facebook, Twitter kind of thing, which is really cool. It's a free thing. So if you don't have a Discord, look into it. It's pretty cool. And so we do a lot of back and forth sharing things and stuff on the Discord. Other than that, I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you. All right, take care. Thanks, Riddle and Stinger. Thank you, Guns Coast to Coast. I hope to be. I got your email, so I am hoping to get with you soon. Right now, we're getting caught up on everything, so it's going to be a little bit. I'm kind of curious. I probably should email this. Don't think that you need to respond, but I'll probably email you this question of how much am I looking at to get started. Like, I don't want basic. However, if I got something that was, mid-range but used, I'd be all right with that, maybe, depending on the price. I'm gonna hope. I'm hoping to get about 5 Gs. That's gonna take a few months, but I'm hoping to get about 5 Gs for it. All right. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back again tomorrow at the same time. That's 6 o'clock Arizona time, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 Eastern. I had to read it up there. Yeah, all right. Until I see you tomorrow, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the world we live in today. And if you do decide to go out and be a free man, just know that freedom comes with a price, and it ain't free. So be prepared for the consequences. Good health to everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.